But in terms of just that game, though, man, it was a crazy mixed bag, though, right? I mean, obviously, it starts out, it looks like the Chiefs are going to run them out of the building. I remember, me and my wife, we're looking, I think right when it went up 18, and we're just like, bro, this game is done. And about to turn it off, screenplay happens to the crib. Now I'm like, oh, all right, I guess we should stay a little bit longer, right? And that transition from the screenplay to the house, that was a Samaje Perine, and then them not getting any points before the half in terms of the Chiefs. I was like, yo, we locked in. I said, babe, it's 11 points. This might got action here. And then obviously the second half happened, which was crazy. But then the ending, I also love the ending because just a week ago, what were we in here talking about? Literally just 7 days ago, what were we talking about? What were we saying? Just it was something about overtime rules, right? Not fair.
I still feel the same way.
Chiefs getting the ball first.
I still feel the same way. But
I don't.
Sure, it proved the opposite there.
Yeah, because for me, it just also showed that, yes, defenders get paid and defenders come. I mean, they had two chances realistically. The first one was the pick six. Eli Apple catches that. It's done.
Your boy. And he had probably the best tackle.
Don't say my boy. Eli, that's not my boy.
I know.
That's your boy. You like Eli. You like him.
But anyway, he had the probably game-saving tackle, too, before halftime.
To
Tyreek Hill.
I don't know
how I feel about that play. I mean, geez.
Well, Mahomes said he didn't like it. He said he should have just thrown it away. It was one of those things where he definitely forced it. I mean, you
did it multiple times.
From then on, I mean, his decision-making was not the best in the second half. It looked like early season Mahomes, where he didn't want to take what they were giving him. He wasn't patient. He was trying to force things, trying to extend plays and doing just Superman stuff instead of just doing what he did in the first half, taking what the defense gave him. That was a little bit of a surprise to me, especially knowing that they had the lead. It was almost like they were just in such a hurry to go ahead and end it and get the kill shot and go ahead and worry about the Super Bowl that they forgot about just the regular execution. And for the Bengals, I mean, dude, as we've been seeing from them all season, they don't care about who you are when they come in that stadium right now, man. They believe that they belong.
Yeah. Well, they beat them already.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's going to be a weird thing going on between these two teams because both of them are kind of epic collapses by the Chiefs in the second half.
100%,
Chiefs were smoking them in the first game up in Cincinnati. But with
it was
Mahomes,
the exact same ending. I mean, in theory, in terms of being up 11 in the first half, yeah.
But with Mahomes, you're right, resorting back to first half of the season type of stuff. Mm-hmm. But not only that, first half of the season stuff for the Chiefs because you saw some drops too from their play. Like Travis Kelce, it was an amazing throw by Holmes, little fade ball on third down, critical moment, drops it. And I was I was hearing some stuff on podcasts about that game. Apparently, the Bengals were dropping back like 8+ in the coverage in that second half, 30 to 40% of the time,
and make Mahomes take the underneath. But
why weren't they running the ball? That was the thing. I don't know if you're right. Were they just going for that kill shot, and they were trying to outthink themselves because the thing to do is just to try to run out the clock and get a nice drive going. But then they're like, oh, maybe the Bengals are going to assume we're doing that, so now we're going to pass it. Maybe that's what was going on. I don't know.
Yeah. Either way, that second half, it just looked bad. Because like I said, everything going up until that, the two plays from the 2-yard line right before halftime, the decision making looked good. Everything about it looked like, hey, they're about to go ahead and do what they do. But from that sequence on, it just looked like they were pressing. And like you said, they didn't need to because they were up multiple scores. They're the bully. But that's the beauty of football. That's the beauty of 4 quarters. It doesn't matter if you just do it for a half. You got to do it the whole game. And in this sense, usually we see the Chiefs do it for 4 quarters. Usually we see them have that type of clutch element for them. But this game was different, man. And like I said, it was good to see. I low-key enjoyed watching it in the weirdest way because, I'm actually a fan of like sustained dominance. For people don't like Alabama. I like the Alabamas. I like when the Patriots. I'm not supposed to say this, but I respected it. I didn't necessarily like it, but I could appreciate the sustained excellence, sustained greatness. So for me, man, I was like, dang, man, this is a little bit different for me seeing the Chiefs look like that. But it was cool though.
What do you think? More of a Chiefs choke job? Bengals winning?
Low-key combination of both. I'm leaning a little bit more towards Bengals though, man, because at the end of the day, the Bengals still had to go out there in overtime. And we know what that has to feel like in Kansas City, especially a week after what they just did. And you hear all the statistics about Mahomes in the postseason, Mahomes in the AFC Championship games, 4 in a row, going to the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. You hear about all that stuff.
Winning the coin toss.
You know what I mean? And they win the coin toss. You're like, bro, y'all literally have everything going your way. But the Bengals, they just kept staying in the fight. You drop the pick by Eli Apple. You come back 2 plays later and get the pick down the field. And then from there, what did you see? You saw Joe execute, but also Joe Mixon.
Yeah.
Toting that rock. That was the other part, because when we talk about Achilles heels, right? What have we said with the Chiefs? We said, man, they're built to play with the lead. When they have to stop the run, when they have to execute play in and play out, that's not what they're designed for. And we've said early in the season, that's where they struggled the most. But at the end of the year, they had got back to playing with the lead, and their defense looked really good. We saw it firsthand. Even your boy Ingram was looking good at some points in that game, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he had a nice little run as well, man. But to me, the same issues that they had early on came back up. Not being patient on offense, not being able to stop the run on defense. And from there, the Bengals, man, they started to pick it up. And then they started to expose some stuff. When they were able to get that pass rush going with just the front four, Hendrickson and Hubbard, man, when they started being able to get those guys going, you saw the whole dynamic of the game shift. And Buffalo had that same blueprint. The difference was Buffalo couldn't contain Mahomes in terms of when he would start to extend plays. They weren't getting those sacks. Whereas you watch Cincy was getting to him, and they were finding ways to bring him down. And that to me was also a big difference this week watching Cincy play them versus last week in terms of how they were able to come in and overcome some of those challenges.
Yeah, because they have that nice D line.
Yeah.
Now, whenever you said, is it Chiefs choke or Bengals win?
Like, what do you feel
You're
on
saying
that?
combination of both. Actually, I think a good epitome of that is the last play for the Chiefs when they were on offense in overtime when Mahomes threw the pick, because it's the Chiefs choke from the standpoint, bad decision by Mahomes, I felt like, throwing it up in a double coverage. At the same time, it was a really good throw.
Oh, it's always
it was right there.
Heck of a play by Bates.
But that's what I was going to say. But it's still a good play by the Bengals to overcome that, I guess. Overcome Mahomes' amazing ability,
and
even though it was a bad decision.
He did it with the left hand, too. That was clean,
bro.
Yeah,
so I think you're right. Combination of both. Of both.
Now, real question is this, man. As you was watching the game, did you second guess any decisions? Like, dang, man, we should have really kept Mike Hilton this time. Did that pop up again? Or was we good? I ain't gonna lie. Me and White, we was rooting for Mike over here. Who was like, yo, that's my dog.
No, cool. That didn't really pop up. I was thinking just a little bit ago, though, Chiefs being down in the red zone, being down in the goal line at the end. You know, I'm thinking Bengals. You got to just let them score right here. So you have the time. No. I'm thinking that.
Hey, look. Hey, what did you hear?
Then you got the 2 sacks from the Bengals. Hey, look, they backed them up like 30 yards.
Because as soon as you said it, I was like, yo.
Romo said it. And
I was like, of course the offensive guy would say
Romo
this.
Knows.
I was like, this is the offensive guy saying this. And I'm over here like, if y'all that great on offense, why y'all even in this position? Because y'all won't do it like that this whole time. I don't want to hear none of that. Defense been balling, especially in the second half. Talk about giving up the touchdown. Man, the whole time I was over here like, yo, if they give up a score, they are just insane. Like, what are you doing right now, man? Y'all have their number this half, man. You make them execute. Yeah.
They locked in. But that's what I was.
The game almost ended on that second sack. Think about it. He fumbled it. Yeah.
Backed up like 20 yards. I don't know what he was doing. He looked off,
doing
man.
Too much.
It's like he was, and sometimes instead of looking down the field, I mean, he was, but sometimes he would just be looking straight at the line and just trying to juke. It's like, bro, doing at some point you got to figure it out and throw it away.
Doing way too much. It was like he wanted every play to be the home run instead of it just being like the first half where, hey, we'll take we'll snap the ball 13, 14 times on the drive. We're okay with that. First half, they look fine with it. You see them working McKinney like they've been doing. You see them hitting Hill, hitting Kelsey, hitting Pringle. You're like, all right, we're good. And then they go back to just, all right, I'm going to just scramble around. I'm going to just throw it up here and do whatever. Like, you can't do that type of stuff consistently and think you're going to continue to have success. And this is one of those ones where it finally caught up with them.
Yeah. Now, I wonder how much of that's on Reed with the play calling. Why didn't they do some of that stuff they did against the Steelers where they're in these exotic formations and they're doing like jet sweeps and all these fakes? And they did it on the one to convert on, I think it was the third. It was the third down. It was like a 3rd and 2 that he shuffle passed it up to. It was either Kelsey or their other tight end. I can't remember. But then they barely got the first down. And that's when they were 5 yards away. Right. They started the new series. And from that point, like, why are you doing all that drop back stuff? They tried running it. I'll give them credit for that. They only got like a yard. But then the other two, I don't know if that's on play calling or if that's on Mahomes. Because if they're dropping all those dudes back in the coverage, it's going to be tough to throw a pass in those windows. Yeah. It always is. It gets tighter in the red zone.
But at the same time, if you're Andy Reid and you're the Chiefs and you got to score a touchdown, do you really want to keep taking the ball out of Mahomes' hands?
No, you don't. I'm just wondering.
And that's the other part. Could
you throw up one of those little jet sweep fakes and stuff where it isn't Mahomes fans though, but it's not. It's just the short. It's just the short area you're focused on.
I could easily see a scenario though where if you're the Chiefs and after how the end of the second quarter went, where you're like, hey, Mahomes did technically do that. He looked at his first option, it wasn't there, and he was like, all right, just throw it out here, give him a chance. They might be saying to themselves, you know what? Our best plays are when Mahomes just has that ball in his hands and he can extend and he could just make, even when he hit Pringle to the front side, or it was Pringle to the front side.
That was the third touchdown.
Yeah, but that was what? It was a broken play and then he starts rolling out that way and he sees him front side. So it's like, for me, I could easily understand that thought process. Very similar to what we talk about with 7, right? We're like, hey, sometimes with Ben, it's not a timing route. Ben's best plays are never timing. Anytime you show Ben highlights, all the time great plays, it's never he dropped back and hit him right on, his 5th step. As soon as he hit the ground, he released. Like, nah, it's going to drop back. He going to pump fake. He going to look this way. He going to spin that way. He going to throw a guy off, and then he's going to make that play. And I just think for the Chiefs, they look at Mahomes very similar, granted different in terms of how they extend the plays, but just that same vein of, if he has the ball in his hands, he gives us our best chance to win. And sometimes, man, it just doesn't happen. But I would, kind of what you said, right, when you're talking about fantasy lineups, would you rather hang your head on Lamar balling out, or would you rather have Huntley and you're like, dude, you choked, now I'm like really pissed?
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you on that. I just wonder if Reed could have done better for scheming something up. That's all. Because ultimately they tied it. They had the ball in overtime. And Mahomes makes that throw. I don't know if I can blame Hill for that. I think it was just a good play. Going back to what you said by Jesse Bates, man, that was a really good play. Yeah, I do feel like he could have had it though.
No, he would have.
I just don't know.
Put it like this: it was a great throw.
Like,
it
what could
been
Hill
a
have done
catch.
different?
That's
probably
what I'm saying. The throw and the catch was fine. Do you know how we always say sometimes if Chase jump up and dunk on a guy 50-50 ball, right? We're like, yo, that's just Chase, right? Nothing the defender could do. Right there, it's nothing the offensive guy could do. Great throw. Tyreek's in position. The defender did what he's supposed to do, though. That's why Jesse is viewed as a top tier safety, because most safeties aren't making that caliber play versus that receiver versus that throw. I mean, the ball is right here. It's perfect throw, perfect placement. It's just a great play by a defender. And every once in a while, the defenders can make some great plays too. And for me, I looked at that like, you know what? Thank you. I appreciate you.
And it's not like they were already in the Chiefs scoring area too. They had to get like 2 series to get in that field goal range, which they did.
They still had to
pretty
earn it.
seamlessly.
They had to earn it, man.
I mean, Burrow hit a couple guys wide open. Then you're right with Joe Mixon. He was just running it all over them, and then they had the easy field goal.